Yo, yo, yo. Hello. Hello. Let me know how music levels are doing. Anyways, probably going to be a bit of a short stream today. Still working on this refactor of the grid cursor. This thing right here. And I don't know. I just want to get it back up to the place where it was before I started the refactor, and hopefully get to the next step, which is working on the tile elevation tool, which was the one that was giving me problems. And I'm actually going to move my camera if you don't mind. Yeah, this is better. But I'm going to just move some stuff behind me. There we go. Leave the ring light on. Yeah, so let's just jump right back in. So yeah, so if you're not following along, these are some placeholder buildings, but the stuff on the ground is actual final art. But this is very placeholder. So what I'm working on right now is just I'm reworking the input stack. So this little red box is the grid cursor, which is basically just as you select tools, this will change, the visualizations will change, the actions will change, the user experience, the UI, the interface, the input will change. And this was starting to become very, very messy and sloppy and a bit frustrating as I started building out some of these new tools. So I took it through a bit of a refactor. I was hesitant at first just because I was worried about it being premature optimization and wondering like, oh, it's like good enough and that kind of thing. But I took the plunge and I started refactoring it yesterday, and it actually feels a lot better. Just give me 1 second. I want to pull down my exposure a little bit. I'm looking a little bit bright. Right in there. 8. So that is the plan right now. So the way it's set up now, before it was just all these coroutine state machines, which created some issues because the update loop was running to update the grid's position, and then whatever state was currently running as a coroutine would be using that. But the problem was like, hang on, let me just get a new drawing here. So part of the problem was there was the update loop. And that was grabbing the positions. And there was also all these coroutines running as a state machine. So there's only one routine running at a time, but it was causing all kinds of issues because like this coroutine, so let's say this was like the move tile routine, it was needing the update to position to evaluate if it's time for a state change and what to jump to. So just the timings were getting really weird because these are sort of running on different processes in different priority orders. And it was kind of causing lots of random frames where the visual state changed before the position had changed visually, and it created just a lot of like judder in the input. So I'm going to, what is Zen mode? Ooh. Anyways, come back to that. So scrapping all that, and what it's basically set up as now is a series of hierarchical state machines. So there's, one state, like invisible, out of bounds, on grid, on tile. It's cool. and stuff like on grid is going to have like different substates for the different tools. And then there's sort of parallel state machines just for things like if snapping is on. So if I go back here, this is sort of free create mode. See? And I haven't done the UI for it yet, but there is like a little tick box here. Ooh, accept. Hang on. Ooh, I need to fix that first of all. The cursor should be disappearing when it's in hover mode. Anyways, but there's yeah, this, okay. We'll look at that first. Just, it should be disappearing if it's over the toolbar. But yeah, there's a snapped mode, so you can do 1, 2, 3, do them in a nice row. Yeah, so let's first look at this bug for why it's not over the toolbar. And I feel like this is not exactly what I want it to be. Yeah, this is, I need something more chill. It's Saturday morning. Like I need something different. There we go. We're going with lo-fi chill. Lo-fi beats. Okay, so let's first look at this bug. So what's going on here? The current state needs to be ended. Okay, so let's go look at that. So cursor handler. Okay, so let's just talk through this. So is input allowed at all? Allow input, toolbar is hovering. Okay, so there's really no check here. Update input state. If and I'm probably using allow input to cancel out of some of these things. I think that might have been the intent, but okay, so I think maybe here I need to do if allow input. We need to change this to, so the current state machine. So state machine state. Set state null and return. Let's just see what that does. That might be enough. But I don't want to do that ever, because that's going to happen every frame, which might be a little obnoxious. Let's just see what happens. Actually, hang on. If allow input and state machine dot state is not null. Do it that way. All right, enter state, new state. If current state, if oh, except we're gonna have to go and add this on a bunch of things. Cursor state machine. Oh no, this should be fine. If this is okay, if the new state is null, current state, exit state, and then current state, new state. I feel like, hang on, I might need to, and then return. Don't do the other thing. Except I could probably do that if new state is null, otherwise. But this happens no matter what. Exit state, and it's only if it's not null it does. So then I might as well just do this. I might as well just do another check to see if this actually exists. And then I think that solves the whole problem. And if you'll pardon me for a second, I'm just going to I just realized I didn't do my little promo experiments. Pirate advertising. Okay. Let's see if that does anything. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's try that out. Okay, so nope, but it's not doing anything. Right, because it's just going to exit the state. Hang on, let me just see what's going on with the actual state machine. Well, okay, so what does the on-grid tool do when it's leaving on-grid state, exit state, state machine, exit state, create tile? This should be just turning on and off. Hang on, enabled. Actually, no, let's make this GameObject.set active true. Yeah, this might actually just be a problem of I haven't set up all the visual modifications for state, enter, and exit. I might be overthinking this problem a little bit. Oh, and there's one other thing I wanted to test, which was the undo, but that seems to be working. Oh, but now it's not happening at all? Did I just copy and paste something? Yeah, and create tile state, game object, active true. That's weird. That state, create tile. On grid state. Okay, let's look at this again. It's weird that that doesn't get activated again. Okay, so let's just look at the create tool again. I mean, this should be pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna throw some stuff here just to be sure. Like, I'm hoping it's not because the game object being set to a different active state is blowing something up. Let's see. Okay, so it's not hitting the enter state, which is strange. So let me go look at just the on grid state. That state, create tile. If current state is the new state, turn current state, exit state, state. Oh, wait a minute. This order feels wrong. Yeah, should be that. I think I messed up the order when I was making the change here. Because yeah, current state, exit it with the new state, enter it with the old state, and then just update the cache parameter. Okay, so that's back. That's cool. But it's not coming back online. That's strange. Okay. Is that just the state machine? If it's the same. Yeah, because I want to do this check to make sure it doesn't do it twice. And now I don't get it at all. So something is seriously wrong with the state machine. That is probably staring me right in the face. The state. Let's just, I don't want to do a breakpoint here and step through with the debugger just because it's going to be triggering every frame. Exit. Okay, so then, wait, am I doing any sort of check here on exit state, 6 implementations on create tile state, on grid state? That seems to be working fine. It's just it's not getting the sub-state machine back online. Is that because you turn the game object off? That shouldn't matter. So actually, first thing I just want to do here is go back to the which state machine is this? The cursor handler. So if I want it to set state null, I want this to set state invisible state. And actually, I want to keep processing input changes, but I don't want to evaluate for a state change. Yeah, I'm just hoping to get this working nice and tight in a nice, clean, simple state machine, so I can start re-implementing the different tooling and just get rid of all of the jank I was dealing with. And now it's not working still. Okay, so there's something going on in the create. Actually, yeah, it's just something going on in the create tile state. So we just go back to the state machine, the cursor state machine, and let's just do a debug log every time there's a state change. see what's going on. That'll show me everything. So this will be, give me the game object. Oh yeah, this isn't getting the game object. So let's just do current, current state, which might throw a null ref, and then new, new state. Let's just make sure this is working. I just noticed my stream bitrate's not looking good. I don't know. If it's my stream is showing as unstable. If it's dropping, let me know. So state invisible, on grid, invisible, on grid. So first off, this should not be happening every frame. I mean, I guess it can be happening every frame, but, oh, hang on. I don't like that. Sorry, I just saw the coffee bot. Should not be doing that. All right, turned that off. Sorry about that. Okay, so if it's the same state, like that's fine. It shouldn't be re-triggering an enter and exit. Otherwise, it'll get a bunch of repeating animations. I don't want to do that. Okay, enter create tool, exit create tool. It just doesn't re-trigger. There we go. That was just, yeah, just a little bit of a dumb. And now that's going invisible. That's going invisible. That's going invisible. Okay. Now that's working the way I want it to. Sweet. Love to see it. So let's kill some of these debug logs. I was just improperly using the state machine. Ah, man, why is the stream unstable? Like, Steam isn't doing anything in the background. Output, streaming. Oh, hang on. Oh wait, keyframe interval too high. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Okay, well, I'm not sure why it's being unstable, but for now, we'll just leave it. Some things are saying it's stable, some things are not saying it's fine. Okay, so that's working again. Let's just take another look at it. Okay, there. Yeah, the on tile thing is fine. I'm tempted to add a rotation tool. I'm really tempted to. But let's just get the move tool back in and start from that. So, oh, for some reason DoTween is struggling when I close the scene. Not sure why that is. That's a bug I need to come back to. Just I don't know if you saw it. Just sometimes the on destroy loop or the on destroy life cycle gets mixed up and out of order, and looks like do tween doesn't restart properly. Can't seem to get it to trigger though. Oh well. Okay. I'm actually just gonna switch the tile back to something visually interesting while I'm doing this. That should be in here. Tiles. I think it's elevation 1 that I'm messing around with. Let's bring back one of the old apartment buildings. Default seed. Wait, what was dual chunky? Oh, no, not that one. This one. Let's grab you. And let's go back here. And yeah, this is just elevation 1. Let's drop this back in. I'm not going to put the construction effects back in yet, but let's just do that. Get rid of this guy and actually have something interesting to look at while we do this next part. There we go. Actually, I kind of want to tweak the shops a bit too. Feels like there's too many shops. Shops 2, 0.5, 0.5. So just reducing the probability of those spawning. Oh, maybe a little too much. Try those weights. That's a little better. Just a little one shops, and then you start placing more buildings together and more start popping up. I like that. I know this is still in progress and I'm still plugging all the art back in, but the game is looking a lot better just from this change that I made with the new sort of dynamic density layer on the ground. Like, it feels fun to place buildings, and I like that. But let's get the move tool up and going again, because I think that's like, the move tool is like really cool. Just to watch that density kind of like change as you move tiles around is a lot of fun. So let's get that up and going again. So that's going to be very similar to the on-grid state. So I'm probably just going to start by copying this right over. So on-grid state is going to be the on-tile state, which I've already done apparently. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so there's that, and then I need to create a move state. Move tile state. So mono behavior, cursor state. Okay. So I'll leave that there for now. On tile state. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and fix this up first. First, I just want to get the visuals moved over. So I just stashed this in a bullshit prefab. I can come back later and take this out. Move tile, and then I can go back here. Okay, so I'm going to create the on tile. Going to be here, substate, move tile. Paste that. Right, some of these arrows feel weirdly off. And probably shouldn't be scaling that. Hang on, why do those feel weirdly? Ah. Yeah, those arrows feel like they're in weird places. Dark ones that are weird. This may not be the best way to do it, but close enough. And the disk, we're just going to reduce the radius here. Sorting. That's weird. I don't know why. Oh, okay. I guess it just doesn't like orthographic. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, so here we're going to add the move tile state. And let's start hooking that up. So we're going to go to the on tile state. This is not create tile state anymore. This is move tile state. Move tile. I'm going to take out tweening for now. On tile state does have a state machine, which is fine. Actually, we're gonna need another I think we need another state here, just called default tile state, because the move state only triggers when you're over the sort of bottom portion of it. Like, I'm trying to make it so you don't have to click to move tool, move, click to elevate tool, and like I don't want to do that like back and forth clicking to change tools. Like, I want it to be a tool that changes based on which part of the tile you're hovering over. So let's do that. So mono behavior, which is going to be an iCursor state. Let's bring in those members and let's implement these a little bit. I don't think there's anything to really do here. I don't think there's anything to really do. We just want to set the mouse cursor type to be the default. And we don't need the boundary to be updated. And I don't think we can point this at the transform position, but we don't really want these sub state machines. We don't really want these to be moving around a lot. Okay, so this default tile state is just invisible. We don't care about it. Serialize field, private default tile state, default tile or default state, move state. I also think this lends itself to I need to settle on a state machine or a state-based tool that is default to all my projects, because I feel like these kinds of input things are always going to need it. And this project isn't super state machine heavy, except for this little input system. But I could definitely see myself benefiting from like just, is Playmaker going to be my thing? Is Bolt going to be my thing? I do like Playmaker, and I know that Playmaker will play nice with the dependency injection stuff that I do, because I've built like a Playmaker to Zenject bridge. Okay, default tile. No. We don't care about snapping. So let's just do transform position equals foreground position for now. Because I think for move tile state, so interstate, this is going to be a game object set active. We'll do some fancier visuals later. Game object set active false. So we just want to flip it on and off. That's all we want to do. But for position, actually, we want to snap this to just the bottom, like the tile position. We don't want it to be following the cursor around. We want it to be very simple. So we're going to get the foreground target transform, or can I do position? No, transform position. Yeah, so that's there. I might do some more with it, but bar rotation, same thing. Target transform rotation rotation, and we're going to transform position equals or dot set position and rotation, set local position, set position. I think that's what we want to use. Position and rotation, just like that. Okay. Oh yeah, this is going to be just the cursor default for now. I'd actually like to spend a bit of time doing a few more cursors. Also, I've gotten some playtest feedback to make the cursors different already, so maybe that's just something I should do. Boundary, we do want to update the boundaries. Yeah, because I need to figure out how I'm going to bring back the snapping. Because I don't remember where I'm doing that. Tile mover. Yeah, I'm not doing it there. I think the grid input handler. Hang on, where am I doing this snapping? No, it's here somewhere. Move tile. Yeah, there's the snapping. Oh, so yeah, this also cares about moving to the border. This actually creates a bit of a problem. This creates a bit of a problem because I think right now the mouse like when you're just in on grid mode, you can place tiles close to the grid, but I don't want to be able to do that. Sorry, that did not make any sense. That did not make any sense. There are different modes, and I'd set up previously like move will not let you go beyond the borders of the grid, but you could create beyond the borders of the grid. Like I need to set up that clamping, this clamping basically. So hang on, let's maybe set this up. Serialize private. I mean, is there going to be a scenario where I don't want to clamp to the grid? I don't think so. But the padding, I think will be a thing. Actually, I don't know. So actually, let's go back to, I'm going to go back to the create tile state. No, actually, I'm going to go on tile state. So I think this should get clamped. Foreground positions. Okay, so state. Okay, so hang on. Let's bring this over here. Wait, where is it getting the offset? I'm gonna come back to this. Just let's get the visuals up and going first. Yeah, let's just get the visuals up and going first. Okay, so the on tile state, this all will stay the same. Transform position. So to do add snapping and clamping to the grid. Yeah. Okay, so then move tile state. We need to get this. We need to get this moving. So update state, enter state, update state. Okay, so void evaluate state, and maybe we'll just put in both of these. And if it's over the mover, or wait, if our tile is foreground dot target dot get component tile container. Can't remember if that's the target, or if it's, I can't remember if I'm passing along the target or the game object. Let's check that quickly. Is tile set state foreground target? Yeah, that's going to yeah, so this is going to be, I'm passing along this as not a game object, but as a tile container handler. So I just need to cast it. Why don't you like that? Game object cannot cast. Oh, it is the game. Okay, I got that wrong. Definitely feels like Saturday, a tired Saturday morning over here. Tile container handler. Okay. Okay. If it is over to the tool hot zone, foreground dot position, state machine dot set state move state. Otherwise, state machine set state default state. Okay. So now we can do update state. So we're gonna evaluate state. Let me just do it here. Foreground grid. I'm worried this might create a bit of jank, but let's test it out. Okay, so create another child here for the default state substate. I think you just look at create tool or create tile on grid state. This might leave the visuals on, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, except on the tile. It might be getting the wrong mesh collider. Or wait, where's the... Yeah, it's not getting a mesh. It's probably gonna make a bit of a problem. Dynamic asset collider. Okay, let's solve the first problem. So for on grid, how is it disabling that from the start? I guess it's just because there's only one state. It's weird though. Add tile is being disabled on start somewhere. So create tile state. State, exit state. State. Where did I just see those show and hide methods? Yeah, it was... Okay, well, create state. State. Oh, yeah. On tile state. This should be default state. Okay, so I need to fix the tile container. Hang on, or the elevate. So right now there is the dynamic asset loader, which is supposed to be updating the collider. But I was having problems with this. It was having problems with the collider being the correct position. So let's, so I was thinking about doing it more as a dynamic relay of sorts. Let's go look at the tile. Let's go look at the tile. So this is the tile visual I'm using right now. And it has no collider. So I think what I want to do is create some kind of tile relay that could take the... No, but it can't take the on collision event. Or mouse over, because what's happening is the mouse is over a collider. It's looking at the object that has the collider on it, and it's looking for something like, oh, the tile move behavior. But the problem is that's on the parent. So I need to think about how to get the parent. So that was the whole idea of, hang on, let's draw this out. Is there a fast way to clear this? Does anyone know? Clear, 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 clear. Yeah, I've wanted to do this a few times. So Excalibur, draw, clear. I guess I could just do undo. Clear drawing. Maybe I could try Control Delete. That also works. Remove these? No. So let's see what's happening. So I spawn a tile. Actually, let's do this with canvas. No, let's just do it here. So I create a tile container. Create a tile container. The tile container has a bunch of behaviors on it, so like the mover and like the dynamic asset loader, the dynamic asset, and the dynamic collider. And the dynamic collider and the asset thing should be working together. To then take asset and get the collider from it. Let's go look at, okay, so let's look at the dynamic asset. Yeah, this is where it's doing some collider stuff. The try get component in children, dynamic collider shared mesh, disables the child, move element elevation. Okay, so I think I want to keep this. I'm gonna move element. elevation. Let's keep this out for now, because I think this is the thing that's breaking. Is I didn't have a very good way to move the thing yet. I didn't have a good way to move the collider when I was making the elevation tool. Okay, so let's just see. Actually, I need to go back to this and just... Did it not have the... Hang on. Let's just get rid of the cube entirely. I just don't want that mucking it up. And I want the mesh collider here, using that mesh. Can I see what that looks like? I want it to be convex. That doesn't matter. We want the tile container. Do we always want it to be convex or convex? Not sure. Let's just see what it does. Let me just see if it actually loads up the collider properly. Yeah, so that's working. It's not doing the move yet, but that's fine. Because there's a bit of funkiness in the move that I threw. Okay, so that. Except now I'm thinking about moving this back to being blue. Also, while I'm at it, I wanted to look at the render settings, because I feel like the render scale, no, it's at 1. Scaling filter, automatic. And I thought it was using FSR. Okay, so let's get move actually working. Now that the collider is working properly, let me just double check what collider it's using. I'll have to come back to that later. Seed. Oh, wait a minute. Option 1. Oh, that's just an empty... Wait, where did that come from? Is that a part of the container, maybe? All ground solo. Dual. Right. Okay, so it's using the right... Yeah, these are the right ones. Question is, do I want this to be convex? Convex looks a lot better, to be honest. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna force it to always use... Okay, yeah, that's why that's there. That's why it was spawning that other weird empty game object, because I had it on the container for debugging earlier. So we're gonna make this always convex, which is good. I think that makes for a better experience. So what does this look like? Yeah, it's cleaner, it's fewer polygons, and it'll just potentially make collision detection a little faster. Okay, so relatively easy. Okay, so let's go to the old grid input handler and see exactly where I was doing the stuff with the things. Is grid, is tile container. Okay, so where's the move? The move tile. Let's go to the move tile tool. Update state. So it's here. We're going to we want to inject the cursor handler. Bring in the Zenject namespace for that. And what we want to do is, okay, so just gonna snap it, keep it snapped. That's fine. But now we want to do if cursor primary action is pressed. Yeah, we've got a pressed and a release. Okay. So if it is pressed, we need to get the mover. So this is interesting. I mean, I guess this is fine. I just don't like the get component lookup every frame. Like, I guess I could cache it in the parent state. I don't know. You know what? Premature optimization. Let's just do it. Let's just do var mover equals foreground dot target dot get component tile mover, and then we'll just do this. Yeah. Else if but I think like one of the tricky things here too is we don't want the move state to be terminated. We don't want the move state to be terminated until the mouse is released. So this might actually need to freeze the state machine. Yeah, I might need to come back to that. Cursor primary input dot was released to this frame. This might cause a bit of an issue, but then I think on the create tile states where I put the factory. So I'll bring this over for the different factory type. Move tile command. Move factory. It's not ideal getting the get component lookup here. It should be cached somewhere, because I'm going to be doing this every frame, which kind of sucks. So it's almost like the create or the tile tool should already know the active tile. Like I almost want to change update state to pass tile data through. Plus I need to cache the first position, so the origin position. So if cursor dot primary input was pressed this frame, you need to origin position equals the position. Else if, now I can do this other stuff. Else if cursor dot primary input is pressed, then we do the move. But we need to do the mover and everything, so let's do that. Let's just include that comment about caching it. Like this might need its own internal state machines within state machines within state machines. Yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Okay. Else if it was released this frame, mover is moving. Oh, and then I think this is like cursor. I think I already did this. Cursor dot player actions. Otherwise, mover dot moving is false. Like I'm almost tempted in the enter state to pass down the state machine that's running it. Although I guess that should also be a part of like initializing. Like maybe that's just the dumb thing I did, is I didn't initialize. I'm not initializing these states with state machine information so that I can reference it back later. Like it was kind of roughed in just to be able to inject the cursor handler, but whatever. Okay, so that should make, in theory, that should make it move. And if I wanted to lock it, I guess I could also just in the parent state machine, in the parent state machine, just look and see if that action is pressed, but that would be some sort of global thing. Okay. Oh, and move is not working. Sweet. I did say what the primary action was, right? Yeah, primary action. If cursor action was press this frame, origin position equals position, mover is moving. Oh. I just want to do one little thing. I'll boost this a little bit. Why doesn't that move? Doesn't that move? I haven't marked this static. not throwing any errors. Is it because the on tile state, evaluate state foreground grid? No, it's updating the current one. It's updating the current. Yeah, it's updating the current grid. Okay, let's drop in some debug logs, I guess. Let's just start off with debug log updating state. Or no, let's do button pressed. Bouton. Le bouton. Button pressed. Button pressed. Camera input is pressed. That should. Let's release this frame. This should be working. But it's not. So therefore it shouldn't be working because I've done something dumb. Oh, what? Hang on. I am smart. Origin, just press this frame, origin position equals foreground, or like mover dot transform dot position. And moving is going to be grid. This is where I actually need to bring in the offset a little bit. Which is cool. The offset thing wasn't working properly, so I'm kind of excited to come back and visit that. Okay, so let's just grid position. Move to the grid position. Origin position is not the same. Move vector create. I think that works. I'm starting to think that maybe Saturday mornings are not my best programmer headspace. Maybe this is when I should do chill art. I think the streams earlier this week also just made it so that my brain was kind of like locked in the afternoon, like late afternoon. Yeah, ooh. But this is what I was worried about, is if the mouse gets ahead and falls off the collider, then it stops the input state. So let's first get rid of this. Let's go up to the cursor handler. How can I lock? How can I lock? Like, because the other worry I have about like locking the state, like let's say the sort of the lowest level state, so the move tile state, where I'm calculating the input. Let's just, if it misses that was released frame and it doesn't unlock, then the whole state gets locked. And the state machine will never move again until you like click off. So, okay, so option one, which it would potentially cause the problem I'm just talking about, is having an individual state, say if, hey, things are locked. Do not change state machines until I say it's okay. Or I have the responsibility at the top to say, like, oh, hey, I detect a button press. Therefore, don't. I actually think it might be the second one. And I think I just need to add some error catching in the state, because I've already sort of taken on this. I'm pushing a lot of the responsibility down into these individual state classes to just manage that whole state. So I think what I need to do is do this. Do public bool is allow state change. Allow state change. And I think I just need to do that. And that means move state. Allow state change. Let's just actually make this a get private set. Allow state change equals false or true. Actually, let's just allow state change equals true. Allow state change equals true. And let's just maybe set this to be the opposite of mover is moving. So the only downside of that is now I need to go to all these states and do allow state change true on tile state, and then I need to do the same thing here. Allow state change to be state machine dot. Actually, hang on. This is where I should go into the state machine class and implement this to be just a public bool is locked, or allow state changes. It should be get private set, and actually no, it doesn't need that. It could just do a get. What happened? Get if current state equals null, return true, else return whatever the current state allow state change says. That's nice. So then it'll be able to, that'll allow it to sort of pass up these changes. So the individual state can sort of take a bit of responsibility for what's going on. So allow state change, state machine, allow state change. So now I need to look at the on-grid state. Allow state change, state machine, allow state change. Out of bounds state. Drop this in. Allow state change true. Snap visual state. This will always be true. And visible state. This will always be true. And create tile state. This is interesting. I'm going to implement it as always true for now, but maybe I need to think about what happens here. Like if I'm doing on was pressed this frame, so I'm doing it on the first frame where the mouse button's pressed, so it creates it. But then what happens? Like if I keep holding that down, does it just create one and leave it at the beginning? Does I click down and it moves the tile? Not sure yet. Not sure yet. Okay, so let's see if this works. I don't know. I feel like I might have missed something that I needed to implement. Let's just see what it does though. This is a long domain reload, Unity. Come on. Trying to work. Go. Okay. All right, this is the moment of truth. So this should, when I move this tile, it should stay locked to... No, that's what I forgot to implement. It doesn't even respond to this allow state change, I don't think. Cursor state machine, set state. If, I mean, if it's the current state. If the current state and the new state are the same, that's fine. But if current state does not equal null. Slater USA, how's it going? Hello from, or hello to San Francisco. Hello from Bali, Indonesia. It is just afternoon Saturday here. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Okay, so the current state, if the current state is not null, current state, if current state allow state change is false, then return. Don't do the state change. That should lock it, I think. Yeah, you're wondering why it's bright and sunny right now? Yeah. I actually was like wondering earlier, like if that is a problem with the time zone. Because I still like project sort of like North American streamer, but my background is bright. So I was wondering if like people would come in thinking it's like a rerun or something. But no, it is just, I am on the opposite side of the world. How is the weather in San Francisco right now? It's weird. I guess semi-winterish. San Francisco doesn't get too wintry though. There we, oh no. Nope, no. What's this? Mover is moving. I mean, I guess if mover is null, maybe I'll do it this way. If tile.try get component tile mover. I don't like the idea of wrapping it like this, but it might be fine for now. Do it this way, I think. If you're listening to the locals, you think we're living in Antarctica. 7 p.m., 13 degrees centigrade. It's cool, but no one's gonna die. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I'm Canadian, so yeah, you're not gonna die. that statement does not elicit much sympathy from me if you think 13 degrees Celsius is gonna kill you. I've lived here for over 10 years. Yeah, I've been to San Francisco 3 or 4 times, I think. 3 or 4 times? 3 times, I think. Yeah, it's quite comfortable compared to Toronto most of the time. Though I hear the crime is getting pretty out of control there, which I guess is the same in Toronto and in Vancouver, where I also lived for a while. I don't know, it seems like a lot of people are very, I've heard a lot of people be very like, we need to get out of San Francisco. Things are going downhill over the last little while. Okay. Now my move doesn't work at all. Right, because the this input data doesn't always come through with it doesn't always come through the game object. If it moves off, that game object's going to be null, which means none of this is going to work. So I think I need to cache the tile mover, which actually means I need to go back to I want the new mover because I need to make sure these clear. Actually, no, let's just assume that when it enters the state, let's do a mover. Oh no, wait, it doesn't get the input data coming in. Oh, Streamlabs, sorry. Let me turn that off. Streamlabs, I don't give a shit about caps. I saw some blurb of how much reported crime wave, like stores being robbed. San Francisco actually average compared to national numbers, but because San Francisco, it's oh my god, cats and dogs living together. Yeah, sorry, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna turn off the. Sorry, I just turned on the chat bot for commands the other day. And congratulations, you're the first person to hit it. I think when I turned that on, I kind of expected it to be just like someone spamming caps like on multiple messages. Let's see what we got. Caps. There we go. All right. Symbol protection, link protection, word protection. I'm just going to turn it off. There we go. Yeah. Streamlabs, turn it down a notch. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Toronto's definitely gotten. I think Toronto's. I'd say the same thing about it. Like, I think it's gotten worse. Like, in just that it's a lot more visible. But I think the actual rate of like crime and stuff isn't drastically different. I think it was just like I remember. I think it was like. Hang on. Where's my browser here? I think it's when I was looking at like I don't know if you know Charlie Cleveland. He's the game designer for like Subnautica. Where's his website? Charlie, site. Come on, Bing. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, like I think this is what I was talking about. Is just I remember reading this like when I was just looking at one of Charlie Cleveland's blogs about game design, and he sort of ran this like after 19 years, I finally decided to leave San Francisco. I don't know where this goes. Zillow selling his house, I guess. I find myself getting upset and angry every time I talk about the crime on my street. What is this link to? It's not horrible, but the upsides of the neighborhood and the city no longer weigh the downsides, and the city seems to be going in a terrible direction, no end in sight. I don't know. Yes, I'm the one guy using Bing because I have another profile for the web browser that I use on stream, and I just haven't bothered to switch it back. Or switch it back to Google. But I don't know, like Google's also kind of been shit lately, just with the amount of like SEO garbage that comes with it. But yeah, sex workers. Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, so I remember like Charlie Cleveland saying this. I remember, I mean, I have mixed feelings about him, but like Jonathan Blow, I think also just moved from San Francisco to like Florida or something, and he was lamenting sort of what's going on in San Francisco. But honestly, like it sounds pretty much like what's going on in Toronto, what's going on in Vancouver, and the cities I'm sort of more plugged into. But I mean, whatever. I'm in Indonesia now, so I don't get to see much of that stuff, and it's been a year out here, so I don't really have a good sense of what things are like on the ground in those cities anymore. Okay, so I need to do some sort of caching of this mover. So I think the problem here is I'm not getting this on enter state. It's only here that I start to ta container. Do I speak Indonesian? Not. I don't, unfortunately. I probably should get better at it. I'm very fortunate to be in Bali, which is there's a fair amount of English speaking and understanding going on here. Like it's sort of nice, but not required. And my partner is Indonesian, and she speaks, and she's not from Bali either, so she speaks a few different dialects of Indonesian. There's like Bahasa Jawa, Bahasa Bali. Yeah, she kind of gets to take the lead on most of the more complex interactions, and but I feel bad. I really should. But it's just I bounce around because I'm just doing the digital nomad thing, because I'm just bouncing around on tourist visas. Like it's kind of hard to hone in on one language, I find, when I have to go be in Thailand for a couple of weeks and speak like basic Thai here and there. But I don't know. I get by on the basics. Terima kasih for thank you. Satu dua tiga lima, or satu dua tiga empat lima enam tujuh, counting, all that stuff. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. Bali is an interesting place because it is so like it's such a hyper tourism destination, and so much of it's English speaking now. Okay, so yeah, let me just try and get this out in small pieces. So the mover, if it's exiting, the mover is going to be nulled. I'm just wondering if I should pass through other things to this. I don't like doing this every frame. If mover is not equal null, let's do the tile dot. I think I need to cache the tile too. So now things are getting a little bit ugly. Yeah, this is a little bit ugly. I'm going to have to find a better way to do this later. If tile equals null, do this. Wait, why does it not like? Oh, because this is still here. If the mover equals null, mover equals tile.get component tile mover, means I can actually bring this out. Wait, why does it not like mover? Oh, because this is still here. Yeah, let's just try this out. I'm not completely confident in it. There's definitely like a very strong code smell about doing this down here. Like I feel like I need to initialize the state a little bit differently, just so it has some of this relevant like the relevant components. But let's just see if it magically works. Oh, almost. So when is this getting bumped out? Right, because some of these... Wait, it should not be firing evaluate state. Maybe I should just be a little more forceful on this. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. Yeah, that's basically the subtitle of this project. Dystopica. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. It's, I think, the third time I'm reworking this input system. Okay, so if state machine... I always feel like indie devs hold themselves to ridiculous standards. Code bases of huge games like GTA or WoW are likely absolute mountains of spaghetti code. Yes. Yes, they absolutely are. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the not even AAA, like Celeste player controller. Like it is just a mountain of very, very complex if else, nested if else, switch cases. Like the movement controller for Celeste is thousands and thousands of lines. And I remember some programmers being very like, oh my god, this is a total amateur. How are they ever going to maintain this? But, you know, very well received game, made a lot of money. It really is like, yeah, sometimes it works and it's good enough, which I need to get into my stupid brain. What was I doing? If state machine dot allow state change. So are you like, I guess in San Francisco, are you also like in the tech space? If you're saying things like perfect is Sammy good enough, like, are you producer, product manager? It's still getting... I'm still doubling the tweens, but that might be my own... might be my own problem. I mean, it's all my own problem, but it might just be that like the game demands more than 200 tweens at a time. Okay, so now I just got to get rid of that weird little flicker of it, which I think is just because I'm not setting I think I'm setting the position of the cursor from the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm setting it from the object. So if that might be coming back 0. So this should actually go from the mover transform and the mover rotation. There we go. Look at that. Lovely. I think the only problem I'll have to now figure out is how is this going to react it to border? Yeah, it's just going to go right through it. So, how do I want to restrict that? It's nice to have the move tool working again, though. Fairly addictive just to watch the city sort of dynamically shift around it as you move tiles. Let's see. I wish I was in the tech space, but no. Currently a facilities manager, just living the dream of game dev vicariously by watching Twitch streams. In a previous life, I was a web dev, circa mid 90s to 2010. Until that, became a framework circle jerk, and I pieced out. Hey, me too. Me too. That's when I was like a kid in the 90s. Like I was making like Goosebumps fan pages and stuff. Like I was doing websites when it was basically just all tables. There was no CSS yet. It was just all tables, HTML tables, and that's how you did like alignments of things and like expanding borders and stuff. I remember those days well, but yeah, then it became this JavaScript, Node.js framework nightmare that it is now. I have my annual review coming up next Thursday, and I think it might be curtains for my job because I know they're quite unhappy. Like they're unhappy about you, or unhappy about you, or like just things aren't going good at the company. Spacer.gif. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I lived that life. Table layoffs. It sucks, man. It sucks, I hope. I mean, I hope it doesn't go that way for you, but if it does, I'm sure something else will pop up. Life has a way of working out. Maybe it's a sign to get started with game dev. You know, stop watching dudes like me and stop living vicariously and live it for yourself. Okay, so move seems to work pretty well. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me just reset here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I broke something with the undo stack. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Right, because it's... If the origin position does not equal... Absolutely gonna make the next big game hit. I also have zero cash saved up, so that's double trouble funsies. Yeah, I mean, I'm straight up out of cash now. I stopped working about a year ago after I got to Asia. It was just... One, the time zone difference was a bit extreme, and I felt like I wasn't enjoying my travels by having to be up in the middle of the night. And originally I had a deal that, you know, I would only have a small overlap at night, but it started turning into more like, oh, we need you in more meetings, we need you in more meetings. And then, yeah, it got to a point where I was just working all night and sleeping all day and not really enjoying my new travels. And two, it was working in like the gambling casino space, and I kind of was not super interested in it. So yeah, I decided to just take the plunge, and I do some freelance here and there and keep going. But yeah, it's been very little money. And yeah, the partner can support. She's working. And I mean, the cost of living here is very low, so it's not a huge It's not a huge burden. Well, I mean, it is. I should be getting back into income soon once this game is done. Okay, so I just want to throw down a debug log here. Try to figure out why. Looks like it's, hang on, let me just think about what's happening here. So 1, 2. 2 buildings. Undo. Undo. Undo, undo. So 2 buildings, 4 commands. So where is that errant move command coming from? Let me just make sure it's not coming from here. There are extra commands in the undo stack, which is weird. That could actually be because I was creating one on tile create. Okay, no, that's where it's coming from. So I think this might need to be another lock. No, but it should. Yeah, I guess it's merchant position equals move or transform position. I mean, if it hasn't moved, so what? Hang on, logging move. What are these? What are these moves? Origin position and tile transform position. What's the visa situation though? It's it's not complicated, but I don't know if that's just because I'm used to it now. I think when I first got familiar with it, it was complicated, but I mean, I'm basically on tourist visas. Like I'm not working for anyone right now. Like technically I can't even work remotely, but I'm just doing my own thing. So that, depending on which tourist visa I'm under, there's 2 different types. I can be here for different lengths, but basically just every 60 to 180 days, depending on the visa type, I need to leave the country for a bit and come back. So yeah, there's one visa type, which is the cheap, easy, just I'm here to vacation kind of thing, which is 30 days, and it's just an easy application on entry, and then you can renew it once for another 30 days. I did that one a few times. And then there's sort of a second class of it where it's for 60 days by default, but you can renew it twice for a total of 180 days. But they're only it's single entry, so you can't leave, or like you can leave, but then you have to start a new one. Yeah, I don't know. To sum up, yeah, I have to every 60 to 180 days. I basically just head over to Thailand for a couple weeks. Like you don't want to do just a straight border bounce. Like if you go to Singapore for like just to walk out the airport and then walk back in and fly back to Bali, then it's a little suspicious. It's best if you like leave for like a week or 2. Yeah, for a bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they don't. You run a higher risk if you're just doing a border bounce, if you're just going and then turning around and coming back. It's actually like more sensitive on the other side. Like if I fly to Singapore and like my return ticket to Bali is like the next day, I think will not let you in the country. At least that's what I've heard. I play it safe I usually go for like 2 weeks. Like I get to go to Thailand for 2 weeks. Like that's not a huge burden. Except I think next time I might try Kuala Lumpur. I might try this time just because it's a bit closer when my visa's up. But I also will have friends in Vietnam, so I might go up and visit them. I've been there for a month. I like Vietnam. I like Vietnam a lot. And then after, my partner's work might take her to Osaka for a month, which I would have free accommodations in Osaka for a month, so I might do that. The higher, like everything is way more expensive in Japan. That'll hurt a bit, but I'd love to go back to Osaka. I was also there for like a month and loved it. And I'd love to go back. Okay. So for some reason, there's an extra move being logged here. Oh, wait, why did that? What happened? Hey, Hypno Twist. Nice room. Yeah, thank you. It's my partner is very big into plants. We have many, many plants. Like we recently just like filled out our garden a whole bunch. Oh, that's not. Hang on. Where's my auto? Where are you? Auto exposure. Actually, doesn't go any lower. But yeah, we've built a little jungle out front. It's nice. I enjoy it. And yeah, welcome. Good to see you. Setup is clean. Yeah, I mean, as clean as can be. Like, I don't know if you ever heard me talking to Slater USA, but I do sort of bounce around and travel a lot. So I'm actually just on primarily a laptop setup, and I try to fit everything in one backpack. I've been traveling just with one backpack, one 35-liter backpack for the last year in Southeast Asia. So yeah, I mean, I miss my old like desktop with the 3 monitors, but whatever. I get to be in a nice tropical destination. Okay, so I was trying to figure out why there's multiple moves being logged. So hang on, let me just go back here. Where am I right now? I'm in Bali, Indonesia, which is sort of my home base now. I came out to Southeast Asia on like what was going to be a 4-month trip. It was just going to be a month in Vietnam, a month in Thailand, a month in Bali, and then a month in Japan. And got to the end of that and then went back to Thailand for a bit. And I don't know, then came to Bali after that. And I don't know, just met someone and have a partner here now and sort of have a home base here. She's Indonesian. And still kind of navigating that. Like I'm still here on tourist visas and whatnot, but this has sort of become my home away from home, which ended up being great for independent game development. Like cost of living is low. I've had a lot of time to flesh out this project and you know, make it what I want it to be. Not be distracted by having to pay Toronto rents. Sick graphic style, thank you. Yeah, so it's a lot more to like show of the game. It's just I'm reworking core systems right now, so like a lot of stuff has just been ripped out. But I can show what it is quickly. Yeah, so this is Dystopica. So this is just going to be a very chill, relaxed cyberpunk city sandbox toy thing. It's not SimCity. It's just about creating a little relaxing, moody space in a Blade Runner style. And so it's kind of more inspired by Townscaper and games like that are more focused on minimal city building. So yeah, I've been working on this for a few months now. It's only the last month or two it's gotten like really full time. I'm trying to get it done in the next couple of months. I'm going to be releasing a demo as a part of Steam Next Fest in February. And depending on how that goes, I'll set my release date. Toronto to Indonesia is a slight change in economy. Yes, it is. it's been very enlightening just uh, realizing how much more I could be doing when I wasn't having to worry about paying so much in rent and less concerned about like my salary level. And yeah, it's been very nice just to be free of that to focus on creative work again. Financially, it's a bit stressful. Like it's been a year now and I'm starting to get a little financially stressed about things. Like, like I would need to take on some debt to get back home if I needed to, but yeah, I think it'll be worth it. And yeah, Townscaper. Yeah, so Townscaper was the big inspiration at the start. Where I think I've broken with it a little bit. So originally it was very like tile based, like go back to maybe the trailer here. Very like tile based, the same way the Townscaper is, but things were feeling a bit uniform. Like every building was sort of the same height in different units and all the streets were like grids, and it didn't really reflect the organic, like the sort of organic feeling of cyberpunk cities, like a little more messy. So I'm moving the entire like input system to something that's not gridded and open and free, and you can place tiles wherever that you want. And I'm also adding this other system that's, you can kind of see here, but the entire like foundation of the city will sort of grow up around the things you build, and it sort of maintains like a density heat map that controls that. So this comes out of playtesting, where just every time I sat people down to play the game, they wanted to do two things. They wanted lots of buildings and they wanted a bunch of tall buildings. So I'm trying to build systems that'll make that happen a little faster. So instead of having to build each individual system, now the city will sort of like grow up around it, and based on the tile, like how dense your tiles are, it'll grow up in different ways, maybe some zoning and a bunch of other systems. So I'm just implementing that all now. It's a pretty fundamental shift in how the game works. So I've kind of just chucked out like 3 months of work and started again, basically. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. It's actually been fun iterating the game at this point. We're just like, everything else is kind of like in here and like polished up, and like there's the feedback to my Trello boards all set up, so playtesting is good. Like all the undo redo has been working pretty well. Photo mode is like in here and works pretty well. Whoops. I've broken a few things recently, but yeah, it's just been. Ooh, I broke the bloom. I think I just need to create some new ranges there. So, but yeah, it's been nice having like a lot of the systems in place, and iterating the game has been pretty rewarding, where just it still feels like a polished game. I'm just fundamentally changing the design, which is refreshing. Usually it's everything's just broken until the very end. It's nice to like get it to a milestone and then iterate it meaningfully, and it still feels like a whole game. Slater USA, cool. See, man, enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully I'll see you again. Hypnotos, yes, thank you for the wish list. I appreciate that a lot. As someone who is quitting his job and like not making any income right now, seeing the wish list number go up helps a lot with my mental state of just like resisting the urge to try and start working for somebody else again. Go work for a studio or something. So that does a lot for my emotional state, just seeing the wish lists here and there. Makes it feel like it'll all be worth it. Yeah, the one thing I'm actually not sure about is originally when I put the store page up, it was going to be an early access thing. But I'm tempted to not do that anymore. I'm tempted just to spend a bit longer on it and just release 1.0. I don't know if you what you think of that, but like I still want to do updates to it. I think it's just like early access seems to have a lot of stigma around it now. Like I think it's just a lot of developers have like abused that system and abandoned projects. Yeah, like community feedback is important, and I think the way I'm shifting to that is more using this, like using the sort of private playtest system that Steam has. I haven't actually like lit this up yet, but I have been doing like private beta testing, but this lets me engage with a small group of players that I don't know personally to get feedback. I've heard that you get very good constructive feedback from doing the private playtest versus like, I don't know, early access. On the one side, I like on the one hand, developers have abused it and not finished projects and abandoning them in early access. But on the flip side, like now players have become very skeptical, or like they just don't fully understand what early access is or not supposed to, or what it should and shouldn't be. So I think there's some players that come into an early access project thinking it should be much closer to done than it is. Like I know Anacrusis, the guys making Anacrusis, I've been going through this a lot lately, where they felt like they wouldn't do early access again because a lot of players bought into early access expecting things to be much more finished, whereas they, as the developers, were like, no, like we wanted to release a game that was still in progress so we can get community feedback. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like there's a stigma around early access games these days, and I'd rather do a stronger 1.0 release and then focus on some major feature updates after. Still taking the community feedback, obviously, but anyway, sorry, that was a long ramble on early access. It's just something I'm debating. It's also been helpful too. Like I just opened up the Discord like a few weeks ago, and starting to get just a lot of casual feedback from people who are highly interested in the project. And I think that's also helping me feel a little more confident in sort of where the project is going. Okay, so I was trying to fix something. I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, it's doing this. It's logging a move when I create a tile, which I don't want. Because I guess it's creating the tile, and when it first sees it in the mover, in this mover state, it's just been created. Let's go look at the create tile state. Yeah, because it's going through and getting processed. Hang on, let me just go look at the grid handler. So when it creates a tile, it adds a component. Where does it do the actual tile move? It does it right here. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, so what's happening is it seems to be somehow getting zero, like a zero position coming through, and I'm not sure where it's coming from. Like, I guess this origin position is... mover to let's press this frame, mover to transform position. This should be getting set. I think this specific game it's a risk because for early access buyers, the game needs to have replayability for them to want to wait for the updates and stay committed to the game, rather than feeling satisfied enough with the early access and not wanting any more of it. So I suggest making sure it adds a constant therapeutic feel that you go back to every once in a while. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's actually sort of a risk I'm thinking about getting ready for Steam Next Fest with the demo as well, because the value proposition is going to be like, hey, come and hang out and build something in this creative space for like 20 to 30 minutes, similar to Townscaper. But the problem is, like, a demo experience is, 20 minutes for most people. So you're kind of like that impulse to like, yeah, I want to go hang out in that space. You can already get that from the demo. So I have to figure out how I'm upping the value proposition of the game. And like the value proposition is also like, hey, but it's only like $6, like Townscaper. So I think like my long-term plan for that, and this is what I don't think will be done for a 1.0 release, is mod support, which is something that I'm doing differently than Townscaper. Just from a technical standpoint, under the hood, Townscaper does a lot of, very fancy procedural mesh things and sign distance field things and wave function collapse algorithm things, and that limits its ability to add mod support, whereas mine is a bit more of a Unity typical modular thing that will be much easier for players to plug prefabs into. And a lot of that stuff is actually already kind of there, like all of the content being brought into the game is through XML configurations. So I can very quickly go in and swap out different prefabs, and yeah, mod support won't be full off, but that's sort of where I'm hoping to get to, that adds that longevity that people want to come back to. Yeah, it's just mod support. And for you, early access should mean you already have plans for what you need to add to make this game better, not only for new buyers, but the long-term ones that need new things, because humans themselves always want change. Yeah, if you don't see much change from early access to 1.0, then probably an idea to just finish what you need and make it 1.0 from the start. Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. There's just like there's some things like I would love to do if I did an early access release and at least had a little bit of income from the game. Like, there are composers I'd love to bring in and really lock in the soundtrack over like the stuff I'm doing now, which is sort of some of my own experiments with Creative Commons licensed stuff. I would love to do that, but I think, yeah, my gut is sort of leaning towards doing a stronger 1.0 release. So are you also like a game developer? Like, it sounds like you're pretty savvy on the sort of getting in the heads of the player, early access mindset from a business standpoint. Yeah, so are you coming in as a developer or just a well-informed player? We've got to figure out this double move. I think this is from this origin position will just default to 0. So maybe let's do that on just make sure we reset that. Actually, no, let's reset it on the exit. Tile equals null, so it's a new tile. So maybe let's do this here. Origin position equals foreground, or no, grid Let's just do foreground target. I think that's going to cause a problem, but I'll fix it in a bit. Foreground target, transform position. I'm just going to try this instead. Actually, no, let's move this down here. Just to the mover. Then I don't think I care if it's pressed this frame anymore. Most important phase of the game is the release, so even if you don't add the features you need, the polish is important because you can't enjoy what you can't play, like constant bugs happening. Yeah, nah, no clue how to make a game. But no, like it sounds like, but you're kind of in the right headspace for early access. Like I've been pretty deep in sort of like the indie business world, like just those communities for the last little while, and read all the newsletters, and yeah, like your 1 point, like your, whether it's early access or 1.0, like whatever that first step is, like that's your release. And a lot of people will just see it that way. Like again, I was talking about like the Anacrusis guys earlier, and they were frustrated that they released into early access and then got like a review and a score from IGN like it was a finished game, and that scared a lot of players away, which to them was frustrating because they're building a co-op multiplayer game and they need a player base to sustain their early access. Anyways, yeah, it's tough. And I think we're both on the same page. Like early access, I think, is getting tougher to do. Just player expectations have shifted, which is largely because of developers pulling the rug out from underneath them and abandoning early access, like just walking away from the game. And I know there's a lot of indie projects that have done that. So it sucks. It sucks for both parties, I guess. But I feel like early access as a concept is needing a bit of a rethink. Sorry, I got to go. Yeah, no worries, dude. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for wishlisting and checking the stream. But yeah, continue to lurk. I'll be here for a little bit. I don't know how much longer. I got some things to do this afternoon, but good luck on the rest of the stream. Thank you. Appreciate that. I would very much like to get this move tool locked away and finished. Okay, that seems to have fixed it. So, oh, there was a move there. Oh, because it's just a little bit different. I think that might just because I'm using different positions or things. If I drop this in, yeah, it didn't log it there. So I think it's just if I drop it in and move it after. Maybe I need to implement like a threshold. That seems to be what's going on, is just if the mouse moves while, if you keep the mouse held down while creating the tile. Anyways, let me just test it. So place the tile, move it over here. So that should be move back. Don't create the tile. Create the tile, move it there. Okay. So I think that's fixed it, but there's a few things, yeah, like I think there might be some discrepancy in the positions I use at different times for different things. Object reference. What was that? What was that? Target component mover. Wait, how am I making that happen? Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that little null ref to pop up once in a while. Just, I don't know, just for the sake of making a bit of progress here, I just want to implement the snapping. Actually, I'm going to be right back for a second. I'm wearing a hoodie and it's getting very hot now that the sun's up. This is Indonesia. All right, we're back. So just for the sake of making some progress here, I'm going to just implement this snapping. The question is, where do I want to do that? Not the snapping, the clamping, so that you can't create and move stuff outside of the usable space. So where do I want to do that? So I think the move tool is the first one, but the on tile state, evaluate state, update state. So I think, yeah, this is where I wanted to do it. So here it is. Grid bounds. So let's inject the grid handler here. Grid offset. I don't think I want to mess around with the offset yet. I'll leave that grid position. Actually, the snapping won't matter because it'll already potentially be snapped before it gets here. Grid. Wait. What was this before? What is grid? What is the grid handler? I don't resolve bounds, but why does this one resolve? Is this the wrong grid handler? Oh wait, sorry, it's using the I want this grid. Not ideal, but hang on, do that, and then let's do okay, so transform position equals foreground position. I think this is Yeah, let's make this, yeah, grid position. This is getting messy again. Foreground position. No, I think I just want this to be, no, wait. Transform position pose, but I also want grid dot position equals pose. Yeah, because I want to take that position that's coming in, which could be from anywhere, just make sure it's snapped into the grid, and then pass it through to whatever state machine follows it. So in this instance, the create tool will already get a nice clamped position coming in theory. Wait, what did I put this on tile state? So this should only affect the move tool for now. Okay, so where's my border? There's my border. Drop you in. Nice. That is awesome. Except that's not, this is not awesome. I might need to put a catch in there just to see what that is about. I mean, it's not interrupting gameplay, which is good, because I guess it just updates on the next loop. I almost want like just another little effect, like when it hits the border, like how could I do that? Like just I don't know, like I almost want the border to like bounce. You know what? I think that's good enough. I think I've already done like enough UX feedback on the wall. Or like just a red shadow, something, or like a red flash on the. What does this code look like again? Yeah, I basically almost need like to know if it needed to clamp it or do a range check. I think it's good enough. I think that's already adequate UX feedback for the boundary. Oh wait, so is that it's dropping it, release mouse over the wall. Okay, so this might be an instance where I just get rid of this by doing you know, if tile equals null, then just return. Because it doesn't seem to be breaking anything. Normally I don't like those kinds of like if bug then don't fixes, but I think here it might be fine just because it's not breaking anything. I just worry that it's pointing to something fundamentally wrong about the system. But so this, drop outside, yeah. Oh no. I am tempted to do some sort of threshold for a move, like right now, like a pixel move is registering. Origin position equals null. So the origin position moves. Maybe just hang on. Private bool reached move threshold. Let's just do like a private const float equals 0.25. Whoops. Movement threshold. Or just move threshold is fine. One second, just checking in on something. Okay. So if what do I start using for the move grid.if grid dot, or sorry, vector3 dot distance of the move grid position and the origin position are greater than move threshold, then allow, or not allow state change. Reached move threshold equals true. I think we'll reset this after leaves. Because I think it's just an initial check. I think this makes some sense. If hasn't reached, return. Don't do the other stuff. Yeah, don't move. Maybe that will be better. Otherwise, moving false. Bum, 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 bum. Reset this as well. Reach move false. I think that'll work. But 1 second, I'm just gonna grab some water. So yeah, let's see if this blows up. It doesn't seem like it's resetting properly. Reach move threshold equals false. Third position, origin position. I guess this could actually be mover to transformed position. It doesn't need to be origin. Something bit me. Okay. That is a bit of a frame there where it's jumping. Like it's there, there, there. Maybe I should just add a what am I doing? Maybe I'll come back to that. Let me just make sure this other thing is working. Okay, so not moving. Okay, I've reached the threshold. Now it's moving. Drop it. Lock to move. Cool. Still feels fluid, but it's not getting that weird little pixel jank. Like it has a bit of a movement threshold, which is cool. I like it. Just want to try something. I think maybe that's last threshold. Like this should be, yeah, higher. I think it's because when this gets to this stage, it shouldn't have this anymore. Function light. Yeah, let's do it like that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, so I think I got the move tool to where I want it for now. There's some minor things I want to tweak, but whatever. That was a nice chill Saturday morning stream. If you're still here, thanks for hanging out. Pleasure talking with you. One more time, I've been working on Dystopica, which is a relaxed cyberpunk city builder toy. If you like games like Townscape, if you love Blade Runner, this kind of thing is going to be your vibe, I think. Just working towards a demo for Steam Next Fest in February. If you want to know when that drops, helps a lot if you wishlist the game and follow the channel. I will be streaming a lot more as I lead up to the demo release, working on fun problems like I have been today. And yeah, I love getting your input and hearing about what you think I should be putting in the game. So once again, thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.